Hey, PJ here, health and fitness researcher and xgym founder, and I want to talk to you about the mask elephant in the room that no one else is talking about. And then at the end, I'm going to tag on a bonus for you, the top 2 immune tips that few people even know about. And the good news is everything I'm talking about today is super easy to implement and to do. This video is designed for everybody. No matter what side you're on, whether you're a pro-masker or even a well-researched anti-masker, you probably haven't heard what I'm going to talk about. We're going to start with mask breathing. So when you're wearing a mask, no matter what kind it is, it's really important to fully exhale because that's going to force you to do a full inhale. The body naturally will fill the lungs when you've emptied them out completely. So to exhale, it's all about breathing out and then breathing some more, because no one really knows how to breathe out fully, and that's what's going to force that full inhale. So when you breathe out, it looks something like this. Did you see that little thing at the end there? So I breathed out as far as I could, but that wasn't as far as I could. Then I gave another little surge, almost a cough, to get the rest of it out. And then that's going to force the inhale that's going to be natural, but then I'm going to do it through my nose. So the whole thing looked like this. And you want to do this every 5 minutes if you can, or at least every 20 minutes if you don't want to do it every 5 minutes or you forget. And it helps to set some sort of a timer. Plus, if you have some sort of a reminder, like even a sticker on your watch or something that you look at often, then it'll help you develop this habit. And when you develop it as a habit, it becomes unconscious and automatic. So a little bit behind the physiology now. Every full exhale not only gets all the carbon dioxide out of your lungs to force a new inhale of fresh oxygen, but it also gets you out of your fight, flight, or freeze mode. And when people are in that mode, they're going to pick one of those 3 things. But one of those 3 things might not be the best option, and you want to be thinking clearly. So to get out of that mode, a physiology hack is the full exhale. So there's really 2 big reasons for doing that full exhale. And then the nose inhale increases nitric oxide levels because there's special mechanisms in the nasal canal that help do that. And those increased nitric oxide levels decrease your demand and need for oxygen. And nitric oxide is also a very powerful immune booster, specifically for bugs like colds and flus. So that's the breathing stuff. I'm going to show you again, and I want you to practice as well. Full exhale, it's 2 stages. You exhale as much as you can, and then you give a little cough. Then you inhale through the nose. It's that simple. So here we go. All it takes is once, maybe twice if you want, every 5 minutes, but no longer than 20 minutes because it's the extended mask wearing that can cause the cumulative effect of those low oxygen levels. And when your CO2, carbon dioxide, is up and oxygen, O2 levels are down, that can be a really bad, unhealthy combination for your body and your brain. The reason it's so important is because we naturally breathe shallow. Humans aren't very good at breathing, and they have these breathing clinics and master classes and yoga techniques and all that stuff, and that's all great, and people should certainly do that if they want to, but most people aren't going to. So that's why I came up with this easier, quicker hack of these 2 steps with the full exhale and the nose inhale to get out of the mask problems that we can have, because it can be a medical emergency. And this is how to prevent that. See, most people, unless they're some highly trained yogi or Buddhist monk, are breathing shallow. What we're doing is we're breathing typically most of the time in the top half of our lungs. And when we're stressed, it's the top third of our lungs. And so the rest of our lungs isn't getting the airflow, exposing that oxygen to all the little alveoli mechanisms in the lungs, which are the things that extract the oxygen for our body to use. And then you put a mask on your face, and you're going to breathe even less because the body is also designed to be really efficient. And so when you have something on your face that's restricting your airflow, then your body is going to breathe even shallower to save even more energy because it's work now to breathe. Now you put all that on there on top of the stress that we're feeling, because stress also makes us breathe more shallow than normal. And now we're talking the top quarter, 20% of our lungs. And you can see why wearing a mask for an extended period of time can really crank down those oxygen levels and crank up those CO2 levels, causing a big problem. One of my members' kids had this problem and ended up in the hospital, and it was not good. So I wanted to make this video to save you from a trip to the hospital, or your kids, or somebody that you care about. It's not common, but it can happen. This whole low-level oxygen thing isn't a secret. OSHA, another government agency, like the CDC, gives recommendations and warns against low oxygen levels because it can have really bad effects on your brain and your body. But we're being told by our government to wear masks without the training that should go along with that. But I've got the link down below in the description and here on the screen for you to check it out for yourself, to go to the CDC page that talks about this stuff, like throwing away the paper masks because they're disposable, they're not meant to be reused, and washing the cloth masks, and other things to do with other kinds of masks. They don't talk about UV light, which I think is fantastic, especially if it's a powerful enough UV light, 25 watts or more, and the right wavelength. And I'll also put a link down in the description below. But there's things that haven't been discussed that need to be discussed to protect the health, because if we don't do those extra things, masks can actually be unhealthier wearing one than if you didn't at all, believe it or not. Even though the CDC director says that paper masks are more guaranteed to prevent COVID than a vaccine. There are also different kinds of masks and different kinds of airflow through the masks, and the thicker ones have less airflow. The thinner ones have better airflow unless they're synthetic, and then they have worse airflow. So you just got to feel it for yourself and to see if you're getting restriction or not through that mask. But always remember this breathing technique. Now for your 2 extra bonuses that I mentioned. The other thing that's really important that most people aren't doing or talking about is exercise. Exercise is the number 1 thing you can do for your immune system. So going for a walk, jumping up and down, anything you can, or whatever you can tolerate, or whatever you can do to get your heart rate up and your breathing rate up for 5 minutes or more is considered exercise. And as often as you can is best. And the other one is the ZDC. I didn't say CDC, I said ZDC, and that stands for zinc, vitamin D, and vitamin C. Easy things to do, readily available, cheap, and something you can do every day. For dosage amounts, talk to your doctor or just look it up, research it. But those are the top 3 nutrients for fighting off all types of colds and flus, and this is the season, so that's important right now. So that's just kind of a summary overview to keep it short and simple. I've got a lot more information, and if you subscribe to the YouTube channel and click the bell, then you'll know when new videos come out. And you'll also be able to see past videos on other health topics. But if you really want to get plugged in, you would subscribe to our VIP list, where we send you information for free on all this kind of stuff. And lastly is research stuff for yourself. Don't believe me, don't believe any other person, no matter what kind of an expert you think they are, because you need to find your own truth. And that can only be done through your own research. So when you hear people like me or someone else, anyone else, that can be a starting point to go investigate for yourself what your truth is going to be and your reality. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon, and stay healthy and stay safe.